Hey, today we're going to take a look at Quick Kick from the G.I. Joe Classified series. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Quick Kick from the G.I. Joe Classified series. He is number 116 in the series. He was always one of my favorite characters in the G.I. Joe universe. He was always awesome. He was funny. He was he'd come up as a stuntman, and of course he fought Storm Shadow and whooped him. So anybody that could whoop Storm Shadow, he's going to be good in my book. A lot of people think it's Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Nope, it's Quick Kick against Storm Shadow. And in the very first episode that he appeared in, that's what happened. He beat Storm Shadow. So we're going to get right away into this action figure right here. And look, we got the big open box back again, which I do like that a lot better than that parchment paper and the character hidden in there for some reason. But a good picture of Quick Kick right there. That is a drawing of him. You got all his weapons showing up. It looks like he's going to have some throwing stars up there, a backpack, a fudge bar, and you got G.I. Joe Classified here, Hasbro down there. On this side, you got a kind of a computer readout of Quick Kick, and 116 there, got the QR code. On the top, you have the star and 116. On this side, another artist rendition of Quick Kick. And on the back, there's where we see our action figure on the back, and it shows his throwing star with an effect. So it's got that motion effect there behind that star, and then for some reason it's showing, look at that, on his pant leg he's got a design. So down here in the bottom quarter of the box we have warnings, labels, copyrights, and such, and on the bottom you do have a barcode warning, copyrights, labels there also. So that's about it for the packaging, and this is 4 and over, which means our weapons are going to be really, really flimsy, because to get that rating of 4 and under, you have to have flimsy weapons that are not going to totally put an eye out. So let's get our knife, and we are going to get him opened up. I think I'm going to open the bottom or the top. Let's open the top. I was thinking the bottom, but we'll go to the top. 2, nothing on the side. We'll get in here and pry that up. Knife back and pull him out. Here he is, number 116 Quick Kick in his case, his plastic case there. We get an extra head with him. Not a lot of difference in the head, a little bit. So, and on the back of our box, we do have a pull out. Is that a pull out? Yes, that could pull out, and you could use that if you wanted to take pictures. That blue star there, I don't need that though, so we'll set it to the side. And let's see, looks good. Let's start with his accessories, which we're going to get 2 extra sets of hands, and one set is going to be a left and right fist. So of course he's got to have fists. So Quick Kick with some fists. Do look like rather small hands with him. And then of course with Quick Kick again, you gotta have some of these hands. You gotta karate chop some stuff. Yes. So that's all for our extra hands. And then we get 2 swords. And here they are. You get 2 of them, and like I mentioned, they're going to be, well, they're not as flimsy as some of the other ones. They're not as jelly. They're still flimsy, but not as jelly like they have been. Yeah, really flimsy. That does a pretty good job of keeping them straight, though. Not an awful curve to them. So 2 swords, and 2 nunchucks. And these are not a real chain, so your nunchucks, they do have a lot of flexibility in them though, but they're not gonna be too good for posability on those unless you're two-handed them, but all right. I'd rather see a real chain in there, but I'm sure money purposes you can't get real chains on that many. And here we have his fudge bar, his frozen fudge bar, and it is opened up and you can see the foil on there, so that's cool. And we get with Quick Kick a backpack, and it is red. Got a kind of a hard peg here. It's not as hard as some, but it's harder than others. It feels like it's going to plug in pretty good. And on that backpack, it looks like we're going to have a spot for his swords right up there. So that's good. And we have a throwing star with motion effects. It's pretty cool. Now we'll take out our bonus head here, our extra head, and it's kind of got that Bruce Lee look to him. He's got the headband on, the black hair. Yeah, that's a pretty good face for Quick Kick. Yeah, I like that. And let's get him out. So this is a newer G.I. Joe from the Classified series. If I can get him out. Like I mentioned, Quick Kick was one of my favorite G.I. Joes. There's our empty box. We'll set that to the side. He was one of my favorite Joes. In the early 80s, there was a karate craze, a ninja craze, a martial arts craze. Every kid wanted to learn karate. There was a lot of TV shows on, a lot of movies coming out with karate, so I'm sure that's one of the reasons why G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and the Sunbow cartoon come out with Quick Kick. They wanted to ride on that coattails of that huge, unbelievable martial arts craze in the early and mid 80s. But here he is, and in this one he's got more of a serious face, kind of a ticked off face, if you will. Again, the black hair, and it's really good, a really good face sculpt. Not sure, I think I like that one better though. I think I like this one better than this one. But they're both decent. I like them. They're both decent. He is a very narrow figure here. Of course, he don't have a shirt on. He does have this sash, and that is not sculpted on, so that is removable. You could take that off if you wanted, and that it holds his throwing stars, but they are sculpted onto the sash. Okay, so they're not. You can't get those throwing stars off, but man, he has got a heck of a build to him. Look at that. Powerhouse. He does have 2 bracelets. We'll go through this G.I. Joe articulation, which is pretty impressive here. He's got head, obviously removable with that, coming with an extra head. He's got left and right up. Looks up okay, but not as much as I would want. I want to look all the way up. Especially if one comes with a gun. If he came with a gun, a rifle that he needed to lay down and shoot, he can't look up to look through the scope or down the sights of a gun. But he looks down pretty good. Shoulders all the way around. They are double butterfly shoulders. He's got his shoulders do rotate all the way around. His upper arm rotates all the way around. His double jointed pinless elbows. There's no rotation at the elbow. There is rotation at the wrist though, and his hands are obviously removable, as we do get 2 extra hands like I mentioned. He's got a little up and a little down and back and forth. Not much there. He does have an ab crunch, a really good ab crunch. Look at that. Really good. That could kind of help with his rifle there if he was laying down with a rifle. He has a hula hoop waist, just like all the G.I. Joe Classified. He's got drop down hips. He has great splits, great straddles. About the best you're going to find. He has a rotation of the waist all the way around. He has upper thigh rotation. He has double jointed pinless knees. Looky here, he has some writing on his inside of his thigh. That's a date code in 2023 and Hasbro made in China on his inside thigh. Stamped on that inside thigh. He does have a lower leg cut, and he has the super duper G.I. Joe ankles. Look at that. Now that is an ankle. Look at that. How good is that? Way better than Mattel's. He does not have toe articulation, and believe me, he can 110% pirouette. Greatest pirouette I've opened thus far. He gets right up on those tiptoes and does that. He does have holes in his feet, and he does have a marking on the bottom of his foot. It says 40531. Not sure, that's probably a date code of some sort for Hasbro to keep track. And that's about it. Let's see. As far as he goes, he's got the wrist tape around his wrists. That is sculpted on, actually. That's not painted. He has a great belt, and it looks like he's going to hold his nunchucks back here in his belt. Like I mentioned, he is barefoot, and he always was barefoot. So, really good character. Man, this is really, really good likeness to Quick Kick. Now, I want to try this extra head, because I think I like this head better. And that pops right on there. Yeah, I like that head better. That head sculpt there, a lot better. So, Quick Kick, really good. Let's see if we can get all his backpack plugged in here. There we go. Now let's see. Yep, there's that. And then he's got a place for his swords. Right there. And right there. So our swords are in. Now we need a place for his nunchucks, which we're going to have to take the backpack off. And they go on his belt. So one there. And one there. One ends the other one here. Sorry, there's a train going by. I live right next to railroad tracks. So if you can hear that, that's a train. And my neighbor is mowing his lawn. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's his nunchucks on the back. So he holds all of his weapons. Absolutely holds all of his weapons. Of course, there's no place for his chocolate bar except in his hand. So, chocolate bar in his hand and his throwing star. Let's see how this looks. This is supposed to have some kind of effect, a throwing effect. How does that look? That look like he's throwing that star? I guess it would be more that way. So not bad. I like it. Good job, Hasbro. I think they are getting, these figures are getting better and better and better all the time. And as far as articulation, this might be the best one I've had so far. Nothing loose, nothing overly tight. Pretty perfect. So, there he is. Quick Kick. I give 2 thumbs up to this guy. Is this my favorite line going right now? I think it might be. I don't know. I'm liking probably my NECA monsters are my favorite. My NECA horror is probably my favorite line, especially the Universal monsters. But this is a really close. They're really good. I'm real happy with it. So that's going to be it for this review. I hope you like it. Give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, oh yeah.